Well, today is day 4 in the 4th step in our fall baking. And if you're following along, the first one, we cut up our pumpkin. The second step was roasting it. And in fact, it was not pumpkin, it was a butternut squash. And we're going to, then the third step was we made the praline pecans. Today is the 4th step and we're going to make the pie dough, because tomorrow we're going to actually make the pumpkin pie. So if you're wanting to follow along, and you do all those steps and then you can follow along, and then as we bake, we can all bake together. So anyways, the recipe calls for 5.5 cups of all-purpose flour. So we'll just put that in our bowl, a bigger bowl. Then we're cubing up all our shortening into cube size, and it's lard. It's tender flake lard. And so we're just cubing it up. We're putting it in slices and then cubing it and putting it right into the flour. And then it'll work in, and all the flour will have nice little pieces of the tender flake lard. If you're a problem with that, you can go with shortening. But lard really makes the nicest pie. I've been baking for a long time, folks. I've proven that I like, personally, the lard. I've used the shortening, no problem, but I like the lard better. So we'll put those cubes in, and all we did was we just sliced each of the pieces of the lard, then turned them over, and now when we chop it this way, we're getting all the nice cubes of lard. We'll put them all in, and then we'll use our pastry blender, and we'll blend it all in and mix it all up. You can use your hands if you would like, or you can use a pastry blender tool, and you just want to just keep working it in. You want all those cubes of lard to now go tiny, like sizes of peas. I'll bring you back when I've got that. All right, if you can see now, it's kind of got all nice and flaky in there. And it says you're to take a 1 cup, 2 teaspoons of salt needs to go in there. And we'll just mix that around like that. Maybe I'll use a spoon. And it seems like a lot, but 2 teaspoons of salt. This makes, I think it's 3 double covered pies. So it makes the equivalent of 6 single bottom pieces of pie dough. So you could make 6 pies that only take the bottom crust. Or you could make 3 pies with the crust on the bottom and then the top crust. But I usually do the 6, and then I vacuum seal them, put them in, portion them out, and I weigh them. Weigh the whole dough ball, divide it by 6, and put that in a vacuum seal bag, vacuum seal them, date them. And then when I want to make a pie, bring out a pie dough. It's all ready to go. Defrost it, only a few minutes, and then roll it out. Instantly you've got pie. The biggest part of pie is getting the dough done. And if you can make the dough in advance and freeze it, boy, what a great thing that is. So now that the salt is in it, they say to take a 1 cup measuring cup. You put 1 beaten egg in it. And 1 tablespoon of vinegar. Okay? And then we will just, because I've got a knife here, I'll use a knife. You just mix that up, and then we add enough cold water to fill it up to the 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons. So 1 cup of liquid plus 2 tablespoons is what you need. So far we have 5.5 cups of all-purpose flour in here, 2 teaspoons of salt, and then 1 pound of lard, and we cubed it up and then worked it in with our pastry knife. Blended it until it was nice. There's some of these are a little bit bigger than pea size, but on most part they're very crumbly and enough, broken down enough to be just perfect. Then in a 1 cup measuring cup, we were to put 1 egg. Doesn't matter, just put 1 egg in and beat it. 1 tablespoon of vinegar, and then fill the rest of the measuring cup up to 1 cup measuring. plus 2 tablespoons of water. And then we're just going to mix this in, and it has to rehydrate because flour is just dehydrated wheat grain, right? And this moisture goes in, so we'll get it all mixed in, and I'll bring you back when I've got it pretty well mixed together. All right, let's take this. This is what it looks like. As you can see, it's kind of, there's dry and there's wet, but that's all right. We'll put it all out onto my rolling mat very carefully so it doesn't all take off in different directions. And make sure we get all the lard out. Now I like to just start working it and squeezing it together with my hands, and I'll soon tell if I need just a little bit more water or not. It takes a few minutes for that lard to incorporate into the flour nicely. It sticks together, but it doesn't stick together yet. So I think I am going to get about 1 or 2 more tablespoons of water. Sometimes that's just all the difference it takes of it sticking together and it just keeps going apart. So now I take this mat and I try and work it together like that, so it's not my hands really touching it. I think it's looking like we still need a bit more water. So that's the beauty of it, folks. You get to watch this in real time and see, oh gosh, it's not sticking together. That looks pretty flaky and doughy. Yep, you're right. It's just getting to the point of knowing when it's at the right consistency, and it just sticks together, and then it's the perfect pastry. It's awfully close now. I'm going to flip this over and incorporate the bottom because I can still see there's a bit of dryness here. Just trust the process, folks. It's just one of those things that you get once you make it. You'll go, oh yeah, that's the texture I'm looking for. And you just have to kind of work with it without overworking until it gets into that perfect pie dough that we're looking for. I think we're going to call that good. It still looks kind of dry. And it's, if you were here, you'd be able to feel it's pretty squishy. And yet it's holding shape. So I think I'm going to roll it up in my mat, and I'm going to let it sit and rehydrate for a few minutes and give it time for the flour to rehydrate in the liquid that we put on it. So I think I'll just roll it up, kind of make it airtight, and just let it sit and rehydrate. And we'll see what it's like in a minute when we come back. Well, we're back. That's what your dough should look like. It's all holding together. There's a few little flakes on it. Let's put it on our scale. It weighs 1,585 grams. So we'll divide it by 6, and that's how much each pie dough should be. We'll be back in a sec. So roughly 250 grams for each pie dough. 236. See how nice and flaky that is, folks, and layered? $300. So that one needs a bit off. Let's try that. 266. So we might add some of that to that one. This one will be close to, yep, 290. Let's take a bit off. 281. 272. Okay. And this one is 290. I'll take a pinch off. That's 259. 300. Take a pinch off of that one. Okay. 178. 211. 245. All right, so let's see. 269. 273. 280. 262. So we'll add those tidbits to that. 271. 244. So I think we'll take just a hair off of that and add to, I think it was that one, 262 now. Okay. So they're all around 262 to 270. So we're going to just shape them into a round disc, and then they'll fit in my freezer bags, and we'll portion them up. We'll keep one of them out for tomorrow for the pumpkin pie. So I just shape them like that. I'll get the vacuum seal bag. Let's weigh it again. 252. 281. We'll maybe put that onto there. And then that makes just a nice size, nice thickness crust. See how that's sticking together? And it's just a nice flaky dough. I did have to get in with my hands while I was off camera, and I just worked it, just squished it to it, and then all that dry stuff disappeared, and it turned into the dough that I was looking for. So if you flatten it out kind of nicely, then it defrosts quickly when you do want to use it. And I'll show you what the little discs look like in the bags. But that will make 6 nice pies. This is the one we'll use for the pumpkin pie. That's 271. It might be a little thick, but we might take a little bit of the extra dough and we trim it off the outside edge. We'll make some maple leaves or something to put on the top of the pie just for decoration. We'll see. Anyways, if you can see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 nice pieces of pie dough. And we'll freeze these up. I'll show you, they'll come back when I have them in the vacuum seal bags, and I'll show you how I vacuum. Okay, this one is the first one. You see the nice flakes of the fat in there and the flour and how soft it is. These are pint-size vacuum seal bags, and I'll just put it in there. And then once I get it in the bag, I'll flatten it out even a little bit more. I'll vacuum seal that shut, and then we have a beautiful pastry ready to go anytime we need it. So that's another helpful tip. Make one day where you make 6 pie doughs. You can either do 3 covered pies, or you can do 6, just the bottom layer pie. So an apple pie with a crumble topping. Rhubarb to me needs that top crust, so I always have 2 crusts for a rhubarb pie. I think it takes that extra bit of crust to bland out that sharpness of the rhubarb, but that's my opinion. You do what you need to do. But 1 pound of lard, 5½ cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of salt, and then you need 1 egg, and you need a tablespoon of vinegar, and a cup and a couple tablespoons extra of water. Mix it together, get it so it's nice and pliable, and this will be beautiful flaky dough. Tomorrow's the pie, so stay tuned. We'll make a beautiful pumpkin pie, and then we'll put our pralines on, the pecans, and whipped cream. We'll have a nice slice of praline and pumpkin pie. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Blessings to you and your family. Bye.